Happy Monday. This is Martha Rice, your transformation life and health coach. I'm coming to you today interviewing Jeffrey Rice, my husband. I'm coming to you today. I'm interviewing him because he's a frontline essential worker. And our topic today is COVID-19, frontline essential workers perspective. This is from his perspective. And so, starting off, I just want to, what do you do? Tell them I know what you do for a living, but what do you do for a living?
I'm a dialysis technician.
And being a dialysis technician, you're on the front line and you work how many days a week?
6.
6 days a week. How many hours do you work?
12 and 14.
A day.
A day.
Oh, wow. So, I didn't know that. I just want to let the world know that you do work that many hours. And I see you coming out of here every day and at 4 o'clock in the morning.
About
4:30. 4:30-ish.
4:30.
And you come home. You don't come home till after I get off work, pretty much. And so that is a lot of hours. But you being on the front line, what is your experience when you walk in a door at work? What is it like?
When I first walk in the door, what we have to do is something, like I said, we never had to do before. The first thing we have to do as soon as we walk onto the treatment floor, we have to have our temperature taken to make sure that we don't have a temperature.
Okay.
Of course, everybody knows the standard temperature of any type of exposure is anything over 100.4.
Okay.
Me, I'm a little high temperature, so my temperature always run around 99.
Okay.
So to calm my temperature down so that I don't have to worry about my temperature being too high, because sometimes I come in and I'm drinking, well, I don't drink coffee that much, but I used to drink tea on the way to work.
Okay.
So I actually have to go in the break room before I even take my temperature, so that I could drink some water or something like that, so I could bring my temperature down. So when I actually take my temperature, I'm within range where I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
So once I take my temperature, I have to put on my mask before I can even start working at all, because we still have staff members still coming in, and to protect them, I have to be masked. And to protect myself, I have to be masked as well, because they might have a temperature.
Right.
So if their temperature is above, or any of our temperatures are above 100.4, we can't work. We actually have to leave the building.
Oh, wow.
So we have to actually go to our car and get further instructions on what it is we need to do. And a lot of times we end up having to be sent to the hospital.
Okay.
So that we can actually be tested.
Okay. So, as your spouse, and you've been working these hours all the time anyway, and that you're very passionate about what you do. You love what you do. But I noticed something since the COVID-19. Your countenance is different when you come home. You seem weighted down, and I want to know, what does that represent for you?
You mean when I come home?
When you're coming home, you seem weighted down. What is that? You seem stressed. Is that your sense of weighted down? Is that how you actually feel? Or what am I looking at? I'm watching you come in. You're different than you were before COVID-19.
Well, the weight of what we all deal with all the healthcare workers, some of them talk about it, some of them don't.
Okay.
Some of them deal with it all alone by themselves. They have nobody to talk to about it. It's stressful being in that type of environment, because like you said earlier, I love what I do. I love being able to know I make a difference in my patients' lives. That's really important to me.
Okay.
But same token, I'm nervous.
Okay.
Or I have a sense of anxiety because I'm exposed. You know, and with this virus, I mean, it lays dormant in your body for 14 days, 2 weeks before you even know you even have it. So in our work environment, I mean, we have patients that are totally non-compliant. Just like we have to take our temperature, they have to take their temperature too before they can even come into the building.
Okay.
So we actually have screeners that actually screen them. Okay. But before they can come into the treatment area, they have to be screened, of course. You know, so when they come in, a lot of times they non-compliant. They'll take face masks, they'll take their mask off, you know, they're coughing all over the place, you know, and that puts you in a position of fear to a degree.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you carry this all day. At the same time, you're trying to take care of your patients, but at the same time, you're trying to be safe. You know, we already, with the company, we already practice what they call universal precautions.
Okay.
So we already wear gloves. We already wear face shield. We already wear gowns. We already do that. But now they added this mask that we have to wear every day.
Okay.
All day. So I'm there 12, 14 hours. I got to have a mask on for 12, 14 hours. I got to have a face shield on for 12, 14 hours because this virus is airborne.
Okay.
So if I'm walking past a patient and he's sneezing or he coughing, it's in the air. Don't nobody know whether he got it or not because he had no symptoms yet. By the time he had the symptoms, in most cases, he already infected.
Wow.
So we have to take necessary precautions that we, you know, have to follow to try to make sure that we stay safe.
Wow. That is stressful. It sounds stressful. What is your greatest fear?
My greatest fear?
Because you mentioned you deal with a lot of fear around it. What is your greatest fear as a frontline?
Bringing it home.
Bringing it home. Wow.
Bringing it home.
I can definitely understand that. Mm-hmm. And so that makes sense about the weight that you carry and the weight that you seem weighted down. That definitely explains why you would feel that way. My question is as a spouse, what can I do to support you as you go through this? Because you're out there every day. I'm at home. I'm working from home. But what is it that I can do to support you as a spouse and any other person that has a spouse that's feeling loved one?
People that are in healthcare right now, like I said, we deal with a lot of stress. The people that we come home to shouldn't add stress to an already stressful environment. Because when we deal with more stress, you know, it makes us vulnerable.
True.
Okay, so it brings our defenses down. So while our bodies are trying to fight with the stress, it lowers our immune system and we become accessible to this virus.
Okay.
So, I mean, that would help tremendously. You know, when your loved ones come home from being out here in this toxic environment, to give them what they need. You know, give them the support that they need, the encouragement that they need. You know, help them defrag from what they dealt with in the course of that day, so they can have what they need to go back.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, get them a place to wind down, not add more responsibility to a already demanding situation.
Okay. And so, as your wife, how am I doing in that area?
This question. As my wife,
Your
my way, you are doing an excellent job. Because when I come home, you don't give me stress. You give me the things that I need mentally, emotionally, physically, so that I'm able to recharge. So when I go out the next day, I have what I need to be able to function properly, in the demanding situations that I have to encounter every day.
Good. I like to hear that. No.
Quite sure you do.
No. So my question is, what advice do you have for those who have loved ones that's on the front line? Because we're stressed. My biggest fear is you getting it. I never really think about you bringing it home to me. Honestly, I pretty much don't think about it as much as I do of you getting it, and so I take precautions. But I do worry about that, and that's kind of my biggest fear is you coming in contact and getting it because you're right there. And so my question to you is, because we have people who have, their children out there, they have their spouses out there, fathers, mothers. What advice would you give them to ease that worry?
Well, the only advice that I can actually give is just be supportive. Be supportive, and since you're home anyway, try to make sure that when they come home, you let them come home to a calm environment, for one, so they can wind down and give them what they need physically, meaning that, being in a stressful environment in the first place already compromised your body's defense anyway. It brings all of your defenses down because your body is stressed. So your immune system is attacked without even being exposed to any type of virus because of stress. It brings your defenses down. So you want them to be recharged, to be able to go out and continue to do what it is that they do, so that they can be 100%, 110% when they're giving care to other patients. So I would say the way you do that is make sure that they eat properly.
Okay.
Make sure they have the proper diet, so their body is getting nutrition that it needs so to be able to function properly. It's nothing worse than running on empty. Like I said, most people are at home anyway.
That's true.
Majority of the people that's out there are people like me. The truck drivers, the people that work in grocery stores, people that work in healthcare. The people that's providing the means for the city, the country, and the states to run.
True that.
So everybody else should be thinking about those people, especially if they have loved ones in those type of environments. So giving them the nutrition that they need so they'd be able to function, that their defenses will be strong, with, when they're exposed to this. Because we all going to be exposed to it at one time or another. Because, you can glove up, you can mask up, you can gown up, you can, whatever it is you want to do. It's in the air. And you're going to be in an environment where somebody going to have it. And it's a possibility you might come in contact with it. So we all should be focusing on our nutrition.
True.
Trying to build our immune systems, and trying to make sure that we have what we need to be able to fight this when it comes.
Absolutely, I agree. Definitely, health is everything. What I definitely send you to work with is important to me, to make sure that you have what you need, which is the vegetables, the salads, the yogurts, the flaxseed, chia seeds, I just want to make sure that you have what you need, and when you come home, giving you that lean and green, which is a vegetable and a meat, to make sure that you are functioning properly and having the proper nutrition and balance in that area. And that's why I don't want to put any extra weight on you when you come home, because I know that you already have enough to deal with. So I don't want to add to it. I really recognize and sensitive to that, because I put myself in your position, wow, if I was out there, what would I be going through? I can only imagine. I can't imagine. You really shed a lot of light on it, because the news say one thing, but are they really telling the truth about what you guys are telling?
I believe they really don't know. I mean, the media, in my opinion, they looking at numbers.
Okay.
They're not really focusing on people that actually are dealing with this every day. They focusing on infection rates. They focusing on deaths. They focusing on masks and respirators. There's actually only one person I've seen on the news that actually is telling it like it is. That governor
in New York.
He's the only one that's actually really talking about actually what's going on and how deep this really is. Nobody really talking about it. Nobody really sharing what's actually going on in the front lines. You see a few people, a few doctors here and there that post, but as soon as they put their post up about what's happening, they take it down.
Yes.
They're not allowing the people to really see how serious this really is. So you have a lot of people that actually think there's really nothing, when it's really, really a big deal. It's happened so slow that people not taking it serious. It's almost like a frog. You can put a frog in cold water and you can turn the heat up on him gradually, and he will not jump out of the pot. He will not jump out of the pot. By the time he realizes what's going on, he too weak. And he end up being bored to death. That's what's going on with this virus. It's happening very slow and very gradual. And if people are not paying attention and not focusing on the right things, which is their health, because like I said earlier, we all going to be exposed to this in some form or fashion. Depending on how strong your immune system is, going to determine whether you survive it or not.
I believe that's true. That's definitely I've been hearing. And
first they said that it wouldn't affect babies. It wouldn't affect teenagers. It wouldn't affect young people. And it was a disease that would only affect 50 and up people.
But they realize
it's
different.
That this virus, it ain't got no age on who it affects. But like I say, that's something else that we all think about. But who gonna take care of everybody?
That's true. That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
Somebody got to be willing to put their life on the line.
And you are that person. And I definitely, as a frontline wife, I call it. No, I definitely appreciate and have a deeper respect for what you do on a whole nother level. I always respected what you do, but this is a whole nother level. Like, when you go to work, I'm praying, Lord, please bring him home safe. Don't let him catch anything. That's my prayer. You go out every morning, I have a prayer. My first thing to come out of my mouth when I'm praying to the Lord is, please protect my husband as he out there, because especially with the fact that you don't even complain. You don't whine, you don't complain, you just go. And you do what you gotta do when you come home. And I admire the fact that you're doing what you need to do, and you pray that you don't get sick so you can go out and continue to work. And to me, that's care. And that's why I wanted to interview you, because you are a perfect example of someone who really loved what they do. You don't take off work. You just go, and you would pick up extra hours. You even thought about going to New York to help. But this is the love you have for people and care. And I just wanted to share. I just wanted to do this video because I hear on the news just the graze that's thanks to all the healthcare workers or the front line, but don't nobody really talk about what they actually dealing with as far as their stress levels, as far as what they actually feeling and going through. So I just thank you for allowing me to take out the time and to interview you with this, and just hope that this video will help other people. Share it if you need to share it. Leave comments. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment box. But I thank you for listening and tuning in with Mondays with Martha. And I will be coming out with another video next week. Hopefully it'll be ready. But it's from a teacher's perspective. So continue to respect the frontliners at the grocery stores, at the hospitals, and let's just think about how we can continue to support them. Thank you for listening. Have a happy Monday.